The seemingly glamorous life of the exotic dancer. To the outsider, this is the high life, infused with the allure of sex and money. But this is no wonderland. For many, it is a facade, a house of cards. Strip club bosses stand accused of turning their own tricks, of flouting the very basics of labor law to enrich themselves. This is the twilight world of South Africa's strippers.
We like little ornaments that makes money for them.
If you don't look the part and you got a fat bum and you got full of cellulite and you got stretch marks, I'm sorry, I've got to be cruel to be kind. I'm going to tell you, there's the door, you can't dance for me. Bye-bye.
My name's Lisa. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, and I'm a dancer. I train ladies how to dance exotically. I do choreograph shows and I also book ladies. Mostly women of color, and I enjoy what I do as an exotic dancer and as a dancer. I love being on stage. In fact, if I'm not on stage at least once, twice a week, I feel like I'm not breathing.
Flame was one of the first black exotic dancers in South Africa. With her strict Calvinist upbringing, this was the ultimate taboo.
People always shocked, most cases, and I know they have God in them. I know they also want to talk about God, but hulle skam. My klere is half nude and alles. Ek moet nou nie van die Here praat nie, because the Lord doesn't like that. Don't judge yourself, man. Shouldn't judge. We're the first ones to judge ourselves. And we shouldn't even judge at all, because that's God's job, I can't tell you what you're doing is perfect because you're interviewing me and that's the best job ever. Because I love being on stage. It makes me feel good. And as far as I can remember, they always say, if it doesn't make you happy, then don't do it.
Flame is a professional dancer, a title she is proud of because it clearly states how far she will or will not go.
All we did was dancing, and Hillbrow was packed with many, many, many clubs. So that was our network place, Hillbrow. So we'd go to all the clubs and we dance, and that's how we'd survive, Book a show, choreograph work, book a show, then book a show.
This is the infamous burlesque character Annie on stage. She is something of a matriarch in the industry. She introduced Flame to exotic dancing.
Annie was basically born in 1985 when Little Annie, a comedy show, was started by myself. It's a whole rip-off act of a strip show, and I've been doing that for the last 20 years, as well as working with the girls. 1985 was nipple caps and G-strings. You would never even think of actually getting off the stage to go to a customer or even touch a customer. Your stage shows would be stage shows, and that's what it was. As the years went by, the nipple caps got lost. Then it was a few years later, then the bachelor parties started in guys' garages and guys' homes, and little pubs would lock their doors and they would have their little private shows. And then again, as it progressed, the G-strings would drop off. And then after that, you're looking at about 2000, the table and lap dancing hit this country.
Stripping was finally legalized in the late 1990s.
I've never been in a strip club. So when I got there, I'm like, what's this? I seen girls bathing, washing in baths, and girls being showered in double shows, and I'm like, what? This is a whole new world from the outside,
The industry's got to grow, it's got to go places, and we just got to keep up with international standards and with international ways of running clubs.
But the early years were not that kind to Flame, not least of all because of the color of her skin.
When we started doing it, it was really difficult. When you walk into a venue, jy dan kyk die boere man jou op en af en sy klip en like, en wie's jy? I'm Flame, I'm the dancer for today. My wat? I'm the dancer for today. Nee, fuck man. Waar's Annie? I want to call Annie. I'm like, you know what? You don't even have to call Annie. She knows I'm black. You have a problem with me being black?
In the old days, there were no black dancers, there was no black strippers. also because of the culture, black just wasn't accepted in their cultures. Also, in South Africa, it wasn't accepted for a black girl to go and do someone's bachelor party, or for a black girl to dance for you, a table dance for you.
Sometimes I would get a private boot dance, and the white guy would be like, you know what, I want to dance, but I don't want my friends to see. So I'm gonna go to the toilet, and you can just disappear, and I'll find you in the boot. And I'll be like, well, I'm getting paid, And I let him go. Okay, go to the toilet.
Sade, another black exotic dancer, knows this all too well.
I'm sure the other strippers will know exactly which one I'm talking about, the darker girls. There was a whole lot of racism. When you go to a table with a white girl and you introduce yourself, and it's like you were never there. You never introduced yourself, you never came to the table. They just focused on the white girl. Or when you find a group of white guys come into the club and two of them like you, they have to do like back moves so that their friends don't see that they're interested in a black girl. That was my one bad experience. My second bad experience was when every second customer you go and you sit with wants either a hand job, a mouth job, or full on.
Coming up after the break, what makes a stripper cross the line?
Don't come to me with so much cellulite that a panel beater can't get you right. Don't come to me with chipped nails. Don't come to me with pimples all over your face. I'm hard on that.
Unlike prostitution, stripping is a legal business.
We are now on our way to the lap dance area. This is more private, it's more one-on-one. It's where the customer just wants to get a little bit closer. Still no touching. Come through. As you can see, the sides are glass, so everybody can see in at any time. The curtains you can either open or you can close, but it's see-through, so nothing funky goes on. Just pure, clean fun. And then he goes home afterwards and takes it out on his wife.
But of what use is this high life with nothing to show for it? Flame has been a dancer for over a decade and has yet to see the fruits of her labor.
Since I have not been working, a lot of things I've lost. Lost my car, had a beautiful home, lost a lot of things. Had to sell a lot of things in order to make up with money for this. So it would hurt me in the sense that I could be making so much more out of my talent, my gift that God has given me.
Sade, also a mother of two, agrees that behind the glamorous smokescreen is cold, hard reality.
It does pay the bills, but when you're working in a place where there's extras, when there's more than dancing, it doesn't pay the bills. I don't have a problem with my job, I really don't. It's just the females and those men that have no idea what really goes on that give us a really, really bad name, because they see us as all the others. Oh, when I go on stage, I think I'm the most sexiest woman on the planet. I love it. When you're in touch with your sexuality, when you're in touch with who you are, oh, it's the best feeling. It's not about showing your private parts, that's what some people seem to think. Oh, she's a stripper, she just shows her private parts.
She speaks about the stigma attached to her job.
From personal experience, the male club owners have no idea how to respect and treat women, There's a few of them that, look after the girl's well-being, make sure that she makes as much money as she can, gets her boobs and all that. But at the end of the day, he just considers her a money-making machine for him. If you have family issues or you have to get home because your baby's sick, or they want nothing to do with it, and they'll probably fine you for that. Private life doesn't exist.
With no government regulation of the industry, it is the club bosses who rule. They alone decide the rules of the game. Strippers are independent contractors who pay a levy to work in a particular club. She is then expected to make her money from lap and table dances she offers to clients. Over and above the levy, club bosses also slap the dancers with exorbitant fines for minor misdemeanors.
Now, how many of us don't own flats and houses? We're renting, we're sharing, coming to places. Oh, can I stay with you? But we're working in strip clubs. Because it's not the customers. The customers, yes, they're paying us. It's the club owners. They're stealing from the girls openly.
They used to do a lot for the dancers. Then all of a sudden became all greedy. It became all greed, greed, greed. And now they're not treating their dancers as their most important factor. They're treating them just as a number. They're not treating them as human beings at all.
We had a look at these so-called levies in 4 different venues. The View charges 500 Rand per week. Teasers will cost a dancer 1,900. The Grand charges between 800 and 1,400. And Lollipop Lounge costs up to 1,300.
I owe about 16,000 Rand to one of the clubs that I used to work at for levy. Not for fines, for levy, and I worked there about 4 months. So you can imagine. And the girls that could pay it off were obviously girls that did more than just dancing.
A stripper could easily make 50,000 Rand per month, but much of it is taken by high levies and fines.
The levies vary throughout the industry. You know, at the end of the day, I suppose if you're a bigger club and a busier club and you've got the girls, you can demand a higher levy.
Megan, a new entrant to the industry, puts it into perspective.
No dancers have labour law rights at all, and they tend to exploit us. At some of the clubs we have to pay, the one club I was paying 26,000 Rand a month just to be able to work there. That's excluding, my food costs and my clothes costs, makeup, all of that, just for the right to walk through their doors, 26,000 a month, and really that was ridiculous. And at the end I was taking home maybe 6,000.
Club bosses stand accused of using the levy system as a loophole to shortchange their dancers. Their defense is the bottom line.
I'm pretty hard on the girls because I run a business. And I personally feel if you're going to be a motor mechanic, be a good motor mechanic. You want to be a dancer, you must look the part. You've got to spend money to make money. Don't come to me with so much cellulite that a panel beater can't get you right. Don't come to me with chipped nails. Don't come to me with pimples all over your face. I'm hard on that. If you don't look the part and you got a fat bum and you got full of cellulite and you got stretch marks, I'm sorry. I've got to be cruel to be kind. I'm going to tell you, there's the door, you can't dance for me. Bye-bye.
Mark Israelson is a strip club boss. He's regularly dated strippers over the past 6 years.
It is general practice at present time for a club owner to charge a girl a 2,000 Rand fine for coming 5 minutes late to work. One of my girlfriends who was sick, she had bronchitis and was hospitalized, okay? She was charged 2,500 Rand when she went back to work by Andrew Phillips, when she went back to work and she had a doctor's note.
Tell me, if you don't pay your bond at home and you're sick, do you go to the bank and say to the bank, oh, I'm not going to pay my bond this month, I haven't been able to work for 7 days. You can't do that. Here, you pay me to work here.
You get fined for everything. If your makeup is out of place, if your nails are out of place, if your butt is a bit dimpled, orange peel, you get fined for it, or you get sent home on a fat diet list, fat butt list, that's what it's called. There's a lot of fines that are just ridiculous.
I've been in this industry now 15 years, where a girl has come in and she started working and she's an utter bombshell. And she works and then after 4 months of whole nut chocolates and McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and cakes and cold drinks and Red Bulls, from 51 kilograms, she's now 65 kilograms. I'm sorry, I run a business. I walk up to that girl and I say, I'm putting you on the fat butt list. I'm giving you a week, or I'm giving you 3 weeks. Get to the gym, start looking like you used to look.
The rules are far too stiff. The rules are silly. They're really just overboard. I mean, you can't fine a dancer 2,000 Rand, 1,000 Rand for not finishing a plate of food, or for leaving a plate of food on a table where it's not supposed to be. You can't fine a dancer 1,000 Rand if she's late for a shift.
As club owners laugh all the way to the bank, their dancers struggle to get by.
They're making it so tight and the competition so stiff, and money and fines, and it's really becoming so difficult for a girl to make a decent living if she doesn't do anything extra.
I left teasers when they gave word that they were going to put in locking booths, and the girls were allowed to do anything they want. They charge a set fee per booth, and what you do in there is your own business. As soon as we heard word of that, we left there, and at the Grand, but also, the doors lock and there are no cameras, so. But also what happens in there is everyone's own business. So it also made it very hard to make money there.
I'll tell you why they're leaving me. Because I don't allow sex on my premises. That's why they're leaving. The minute the girl goes and sleeps with a customer, it costs me money. I lose money, and I don't like losing money.
This is Andrew Phillips. His club, The Ranch, was shut down in 2000 amidst claims of prostitution. He refused to be interviewed. After the break, when levies are used as blackmail.
There must have been about 40 or 50 cops here.
You know, they don't respect us as ladies. So if you are showing your punani and your tits, you might as well sell your punani. Did you know what I mean? And I'll make a big cut out of it.
Do you know that you have to pay your rent, you have to pay school fees, you have to get groceries, you have to pay for your taxi or anything that you basically have to pay for. And there's girls busy having sex and you can't have a private dance. So you end up thinking, should I or shouldn't I?
This is file footage of The Ranch in 2000.
We believe so far that the property has been used for the crime of prostitution. There's strong evidence to suggest that he has harbored illegal aliens on the property and that he's allowed them to work on the property contrary to laws.
I'm coming to you today like a man, and I'm telling you, today is your last day. Today is your last day. It's over.
The saga involving The Ranch brought to the forefront the seemingly thin line between stripping and prostitution.
I don't believe that the two should be mixed at all. Prostitutes should stay with prostitutes, brothels with brothels, and strippers with strippers. It should not be mixed. You shouldn't allow in your strip club for girls to be booked out, to go home with customers, to go out with customers, or to offer extras in the lap rooms.
Let's say you do a private dance for, let's say, 600 Rand. He'll rather go with the girl next to you that will have sex with him for 300 Rand. You know what I mean? So you kind of lose out in the end when you don't do extras.
In the clubs where those things are allowed very openly, then they make your monthly levy your daily levy very high. So then if you are offering that, they still get their fair share. And if you're not, you're kind of forced into, find a new job or, do what you have to do to cover the costs.
There's no ways that the owners cannot know. That's just bullshit.
Strip bosses deny the allegations. During our investigation, several dancers told Special Assignment of being coerced into prostitution by club bosses. The trick is to impose exorbitant levies and fines, leaving them with no choice but to enter the game of the so-called extras. On the other side of town, a new entrant prepares to enter the game. His promise seems lofty and cynical.
But I'm willing to risk it, to do something that might make the world a better place. Sounds idealistic, but that's the way it is. People don't believe me, but that's the way it is. And that's what I'm going to do. And even if I go down, and even if I'm killed in the process, people will know. And somebody else will pick up the baton and do something.
But this is a world rife with dirty tricks. On opening night, around 50 police officers arrive unannounced.
This is one of the mysteries and the dark side of this industry, that by us entering it and being as legitimate, as open as we are, perhaps will disappear. And this will just become a business like any other.
I think the government should start doing things for us dancers too, and recognize us as dancers. And we will pay tax so that we can also get houses and cars and benefits, because the club owners, they are using us for their benefits. It's wrong.
I so wish that stripping could become a normal job, where people look at a stripper and say, actually it's a stripper. It's like, he's a mechanic, or he's a banker, or he's a chef. I wish it could just fall under the same category, because right now we've got so many dancers that can't fill out application forms at schools or banks because they are dancers or strippers.
Most of the club owners should realize this is a business. It's a money-making business, and their business, their market is ladies. They should treat us with much more respect.
The industry will still survive, and it's going to get more. We're going to get a lot more girls coming into the industry. Why? Because jobs are scarce. I think the only people that are going to really be employing people in the next 6-7 months is lawyers, because they're going to be having to sue everybody because they own their houses and cars are being repossessed. In my industry, because the guy's going to say, geez, I've lost it all, I might as well go out in a ball of flame.
A cynical attitude towards the lives of these women is not shared by club bosses alone. In a world where the morality card is often and easily played, women who strip for a living are dealt a bad hand.